So what can we do? What can we do to improve our fee proposals?
Well, look, like most things in life, the first step is to really ascertain, do you have a problem or not? Are you currently satisfied with the results you're achieving for the work that you're putting in? So is it getting you your goal? If it's not, and you've realized that there is a problem, then the second step is to understand that whether your client says yes or no to your proposal has more to do with how you actually frame your proposal than the actual fee you're charging.
Before we get into that, because I want to get into that, I want to just go back to step one, because you said whether you're happy with what your results are now. And I think being super involved in our community and hearing and listening to what our members are saying, I suspect that many of us don't know what that means. You know, as long as they get their job and the bills are paid, maybe they're happy. And the result is there. But is that really enough? You know, in terms, because, you know, I'm always talking about building a profitable firm. You have to build a firm that's going to earn 20% profit or more. It's not just about, you know, paying the next bill that comes in or getting the next job that, you know, rings on the phone. It's about building a business. And so in terms of whether you're happy with the results that you achieve, do you have any ideas or any thoughts on how they might analyze whether it really is enough or not with what they're doing, or whether they should look beyond what they're doing now?
It's an interesting question. Typically, it's a starting point for us. First of all, if you are happy, you know, that's great. Why are we talking? Because people usually don't come to us if they're satisfied with the results. Most people come to us because they're not satisfied. The next step is, well, why aren't you satisfied? So usually there can be a number of areas. For example, A, they might not have enough clients, so they need a higher conversion rate. B, the clients they have might not be paying them as much money as they would like for the time it takes to complete the work. So they might want to increase their fee levels. Or C, they might want to try and break into a different market. So maybe they're currently in residential, they'd like to try and move into commercial, or vice versa. And so that's what we try and do, is establish, well, what are your goals? What would we like to achieve here? And that's sort of the second step. And look, if you don't know if you're happy or not, well, I think the step would be to listen to what we perhaps have to say, and see what you think about it. And maybe you might find that actually with just a few minor changes to what you're currently doing, you could turn things around for yourself considerably.
Yeah, so, that's exactly why I brought it up, because I think, you know, architects they're happy people. You know, when they're behind their computers or their drafting boards and they're designing, they're happy. You know, as long as they have the work. But when you go through the list of potentials that you just went through, I think a lot of light bulbs went off and said, well, even though I'm happy, you know, I have the architecture that I'm doing, maybe it could be even better. You know, and so if some of those light bulbs sort of triggered something in your mind, I'm speaking to the listeners now, what's the next step, Ian, in sort of going from that point? Maybe we're not happy. Maybe we want to see some more results.
Okay. So the next step is realizing that, look, a lot of architects try and sell themselves on their branding, of who they are as a firm. Now, if you're a big, well-known, international, award-winning, prestigious firm, that could go a long way. But if you are a smaller, perhaps a sole practitioner, working in your local community, well, your branding might not be so important to your clients. So we know that purchasing decisions are based on emotions, and we perhaps know that we want to serve more clients and get higher fees for our work and our time and our ideas. So the next step is to think about, okay, we know what we want out of this, but what is the client interested in? What's motivating them to go and purchase? Okay, so we need to know what sort of factors they're interested in. I'll give you some examples of what it might be.